How to create a booking appointment system using BuilderAll. Let's go. If you have found this video to be useful, then be a good sport. Do it right now. Subscribe, like, and share this video. Also, consider taking up one of my affiliate offers in the description below. This will help me to keep the channel going. Thank you and have a great day. The following are topics that will be covered in this short video. We'll take an overview look of the booking backend system. We'll see how to configure the calendar host. We'll explore what type of calendars are available. We'll then see how to create a new calendar. From that calendar, we'll be able to select a time zone. We can determine what the post-appointment actions will be. We'll configure a calendar group, plus the business opening hours. We'll configure what days are available to be booked. We'll also configure automatic appointment approvals. We can also program what are the mandatory collection data, such as phone numbers. We can customize appointment reminders. We'll see the option to connect to a Google Calendar, plus Zoom integration, and autoresponder integration, and the option to charge an upfront appointment fee. When that's all done, we can see how to look at the calendar. So in this demonstration, we'll create an appointment system for a fictitious computer club called a Barcelona Computer Club. And they have free services that are offered: hardware upgrades, software installation, programming solutions. So we'll do free calendars for each. And in these calendar, there'll be no weekend work. Lunchtime is between 12 to 1 p.m. We'll block out Christmas Day and New Year's Day, which won't be available for work. Once the person has selected an appointment, we'll display a thank you message, and we'll add that person into the subscriber list. So here we go. So to kick off things, what I'd like you to do is go inside your home page, add the BuilderAll booking module. Once you're there, click enter and you'll be into your back end of your BuilderAll booking system. Now there's a lot of buttons, a lot of information on this dashboard. Don't worry, just a few things I want you to concentrate for the time being. So what you're seeing is a summary of what's included in your booking system. At the moment, there's no calendars been set up. There's nobody that's been subscribed to your mailing list. You haven't derived any income yet from your subscribers. And certainly you haven't lost any money because there's nobody cancel your appointments. So this is the dashboard as a summary of what's going on inside your booking system. Like anything else, planning is paramount. So the first one I'd like you to look at is on your left-hand side where your host tab resides. I'll click on that for you. So this is the interface where you can select who will be hosting the calendar itself. So in this case, I'm going to create one because I don't have any hosts been set up. So let's type a new host. So I'm going to click on that for you. To save you a bit of time, I've added in the relevant information to create my new host. So remember, every calendar that you create needs a host. So let's click on the Save button. So if all things goes well, BuilderAll will see that you've created a new host ready to be assigned a calendar. So speaking of calendar, let's go there right now. Let's click on the Calendars tab. As expected, we have no calendars that exist in the system. So let's click on this blue button, Create New Calendar, and create our first calendar for demonstration purpose. Here we go. As I mentioned before, we got several types of calendars available for you to be created. So I'm going to choose the first tab here, which is the consultation. And consultation are good. For example, if you're like a business coach, a life coach, perhaps you're a hairdresser or medical or dentist, anything of that nature, this will be the right type of calendars that you can create. Now, I'm not going to go through each one of these, but they're fairly self-explanatory. So you choose the one that's appropriate to you. So let's go back to the consultation tab. And we're going to create our first calendar here right now. Let's go. So I'll be calling this the Barcelona Computer Club as the name of my calendar. Let me click on this blue button for you. So the next step in the process, we introduce to the wizard. It's a step-by-step guide, basically filling out information that BuilderAll will need in order to create this calendar for you. Okay, so there's an option here. You can change the background color or even upload a logo for you. So I'll do that for you right now. Okay, we've got the logo going on. Let's scroll down a little bit. Now this is the time zone that I mentioned before. There are two choices. You can predefine a time zone that you've decided to use. For example, you might live in America, so you choose one of the Central Times, Mountain Time, or even Eastern Time. However, I think for best practice, it's probably easier. Let the person select the time zone that's comfortable for them. So once they've selected the time zone, we have two choices here. We can say, once they've selected the appointment, let's create a display message, a thank you message perhaps, or you get the option where you can redirect them to another URL. So I won't take this option, but if you do choose to have a custom URL, this is where you type in the particular website. Don't forget to type in the https:// then your email address. So let's go back to the first option where we can display the success message. Let me type this in for you. So that's my message keyed in. Let's save and exit and go on to the next step. So on this configuration screen, you can treat this like the engine room of our booking system. So remember, we've got 3 groups where we're going to create 3 different calendars. So in a title here for group 1, so this tab cannot be renamed. But it does make sense, we can change this title. Let's call this hardware. Now the host, I beg your pardon, is what we predefined before, if you recall. So let's choose admin. We can leave the description blank, so it's purely optional. Now we're going to start our schedule perhaps every 60 minutes, and each of our session will last, say, 50 minutes. Okay, but interval between sessions, we might want to give 10 minutes. Go to the toilet break, clean up our paperwork, any other things that you might need 10 minutes to get ready. So the business hours, this is where you decide which days, what times you're available for work. Let's just pretend for our instance hardware service, we only work on Monday, Tuesday. So we can unselect Sunday and all the way from Wednesday, Thursday, Friday and Saturday. And because we want to start at perhaps 9 a.m. and we actually want to have our lunchtime beginning at 12. So I'll select 12 for you. Okay, so I just went ahead and pre-populated the timing. Remember we said between 12 and 1 we're going to have a lunch break. So I'll just click on the plus sign here. We have a new time that we can allocate. We did say from 1 p.m. we can start our work again. Oh, that didn't look good. That looks much better now. So let's say we finish roughly about 4 p.m. And that's timing that's set. I'm going to go ahead and fill in the rest for Tuesday. So if we configure it right, you should look something like this also on your screen. Let me scroll further down. This is where we can program the computer to say, hey, there's certain days that I don't want to work. So I'm going to click on these dates. Maybe at 1st of January is not available, which makes sense because it's the first day of the year. So that's how you can pre-configure which certain dates you don't want to work. Now we have one session. In terms of availability, you can have unlimited availability as well. These other dates, I think the options is not too relevant because ideally, as soon as someone booked an appointment, you want to make that as soon as possible available for them. Okay. Again, you can block out dates that you don't want to start working. So like I said, I'm going to have January the 1st. and I'll add that in, and it's locked in. In terms of advanced configuration, you can tell BuilderAll to say whenever someone has made an appointment, the system will automatically approve. Otherwise, you have to manually approve it yourself. So we'll just scroll down. There's not much that you want to configure at this stage. We haven't finished yet because remember what we said? We need to create another group. So in order to do that, I'm going to create a new group called software. So let's just key that in, and I'm going to do the rest to save you a bit of time. So for group 2, which is better known as the software calendar, it's the identical type of timetable, except we're going to work from Wednesday and Thursday only. Alright, let's go ahead and do group number 3. So here's the configuration for group number 3, which is our programming calendar. I've selected admin as the host. We'll start the schedule every 60 minutes, and each of my sessions is only lasting 50 minutes because we want to leave 10 minutes for housekeeping time. So for programming, we're only available for Friday between the hours of 9 a.m. to 12 midday, and between that time we're going to have some lunch, and we'll start to work again between 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. and all the other dates I forgot to tell you. We don't want Christmas Day, do we? So let's change that again to January. Let's go back December 25th. We certainly don't want to work on Christmas Day, so let's just add that back in. Alright, so let's save and click next and go on to the next wizard. So in this wizard screen, we're presented with the mandatory collection data fields. So each of the group, in this case it'll be hardware, software, and programming, we've got the flexibility to make required fields. When the person go onto the booking calendar, they have to enter this information in order to secure the appointment. So in terms of the phone, I'm going to click on the pencil mark. We're going to say it's going to be required. We'll click OK on that, and I'll do the same for all of them. Now, if you think you will need more information, you just need to click on this Add New Field button. You could put in the title of that new field, but I just think it's probably easier. The less information from the user, the better the user experience they'll have. So I'm just going to cancel that for you. Let's click this next and save button. Okie dokie, we passed the halfway mark. Now we're in a communication wizard screen. So this is where we get to configure each of the calendars that we have. What do we do once the appointment has been confirmed? Do we say do not send confirmation to subscribers? Or yes, we do send an email notice as well. Look, I think the best practice is to take the first option, because you want to allow them the opportunity to cancel or reschedule an appointment too. Now, once the appointment has been secured, you also got the option to send emails to your host when new signups happen, or you also want to add the option, you can have both, where you want to receive emails for new subscription or pending subscriptions here. There's a further option where you can tell BuilderAll not to set any reminders, which I don't think is a good idea, or you do want to send reminders for people to say, hey, next week your appointment is coming up. Again, I think for best practice, it's safer to choose the second option, that you want to send a reminder to the person making the appointment. And to do that, also click on the new reminder button and an email will be sent perhaps 1 hour before the meeting. Also, it'd be a good idea to send a reminder email to the host as well. So let's go further down. I think it's probably easier just leave it as the default email sender. In this case, I'm going to choose Mailing Boss. So let's save and next. Okay, so far so good. Here we are at the page of the automation wizard. This is where you get the opportunity to sync with a Google Calendar. It's a brand new feature that's been added. I'm very excited about this feature. I hope they'll bring other calendars in further updates. Now, the option is you don't want to sync with the Google Calendar, But quite often, I know a lot of users are using Google Calendar as the daily tool. Now, if you want to choose that option, click on the radio button here. To add it to the calendar, you need to select a particular Gmail account and a calendar that you belong to, and it will be added to your configuration of your Google Calendar. You also get the option to integrate into the Zoom. Once you do that, you also need to provide, now it's coming up, your Zoom credential in order to integrate with the system. Let me just cancel that. I'll go back to do not integrate. Now this is a really handy feature here. If people are opting in, giving their information, it'll be a smart idea to add it into an email list. Remember, the bigger your list, the easier the chance of you to grow your business. And you got to configure for all of your free calendars here. So I'm going to subscribe to a list, and the list I've got here is the Barcelona computer list. I'm going to add it to it, and I'm going to do the same for all the other free two groups. Okay, so that's all three of our calendars being programmed to add a new subscriber onto our Barcelona Computing Club list. So let's save and next. Almost there, guys. BuilderAll booking appointment system gives you the flexibility to make an upfront payment for people who want to secure appointment. For the sake of simplicity, we're not going to do that for this exercise. So let's go and save and next. Now, if all is well, your calendar has now been successfully created. We've got a choice of making a modification to the calendar itself. We can copy the calendar, or we can take a look at it. But before we take a good look at it, just want to show you it's possible to copy this particular code into the iframe section of a website, so you need to integrate that. Okay, as promised, let's go and look at the calendar itself. So the good news, your calendar is now live on the internet, ready for people to make appointments. So let's give this a little test drive just to make sure the calendars are doing what it's supposed to do. Let's pick programming, for instance. So if I'm a particular client, I would like to create a session, one-on-one session, to work on some programming for my website. You can click either the programming here or the right-hand side arrow. It will bring me to the calendar itself. So this is exactly what the user will see once they log on to the calendar URL. Now, you may look like this is all blank, and the reason being, remember, we said for programming sessions, we're only doing on Friday. It happens to be December 25th, Friday is Christmas Day. So it's not going to be available for any appointments at all. This section here is where we allow to have different time zone that your user is comfortable with. But let's find out for next appointment that's available. So I'll click on the arrow here to go to January. In terms of January, we've got the full 4 weeks, 4 appointments available. And in terms of whether AM or PM, we've got the choice here. Let's go for the next first appointment that we can have. Let's say we choose the 15th, for instance. We're going for an afternoon session, which is the last, we'll make a 2 o'clock session. So we'll schedule this. So I'm going to key ahead with information in order for me to create this appointment. So this is the information that the user will see in order to secure an appointment. So I'm going to click on schedule, and we'll see what the screen will look like next. Well, ta-da! This is the result that we want to see. Remember, this is the thank you message that we pre-assigned before. And it's giving the user a summary of what's just happened. We're securing a session and appointment on January 15th. And it's regarding the programming session that we're going to have. This is the person that we're going to send the email to. And you get the option to create a Google Calendar, Outlook Calendar, or even Yahoo Calendar. By clicking any one of these, it's going to ask you for the sign-in credential to your Google account in order to create that Google Calendar. So just a little bit more step I want to show you behind the scenes. So here in the back office of my BuilderAll homepage, it already told me that Juan has subscribed to my new mailing list. So let's go back to my mailing list. Previous to this, I had nobody subscribing to this email list. So I wonder what will happen if I click on this subscriber icon. We will get a new entry or not? Let's find out. So I'm going to click on that button right now. Fantastic. So we've got one subscriber added on to my email list. Guys, this is a wonderful feature offered by BuilderAll. So another thing that I want to display to you is what happens also in the back office in the booking system. So we'll click on schedule. So in the schedule tab, you'll be able to see in a very quick glance what sort of appointments it's available ahead. These are the options that's available for you. So for instance, you might want to be able to reschedule the appointment. I'll click on that button for you right now. So if you want to reschedule to another day, these are the boxes that you need to click on and hit reschedule. So let me just cancel that. Alright guys, that's all I want to show you. That's quite a lot of information, but I think it's been useful. If you got any questions, just hit me up in the comment section. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. If you have found this video to be useful, then be a good sport. Do it right now. Subscribe, like, and share this video. Also, consider taking up one of my affiliate offers in the description below. This will help me to keep the channel going. Thank you and have a great day.